So this is my first of more than one video for my nutrition classes for the digestion chapter. So whatever class you're in, a face-to-face shell or an online shell, there's the file. Click on it, download it, go to student login on the Sac City page, use your Los, Rios, Gmail, Google apps, and you then can access these slides that I'm going to cover right now in Google Docs. So, the GI tract is a very complex system of the body. We do not cover it in excruciating detail. It would be outside the scope of our class. We do cover the main points of the GI tract and those organs which play an important part in the GI tract. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So here's our GI tract. We've got the mouth. This is the esophagus that comes down that carries food from the mouth to the stomach. There's a stomach back there somewhere. You can't see it, but it's there. What partially digested stuff leaves the stomach, goes into what we call the small intestine, kind of this squirrely kind of zombie looking thing. Yeah, it's small diameter, but the small intestine, it's small in diameter, but the small intestine is many, many feet long, 20 something feet long. That's where most of your absorption of your nutrients from food happens. Some stuff, which we'll talk about, goes into the large intestine, fluid and some other things. That is a large diameter tube, but it's not very long. It's ascending, transverse, and descending, and then whatever's left over, which is mostly dead bacteria, fluid, and if you ate any dietary fiber, I hope you did, that leaves when we go to the bathroom. That's the pathway, if you will. That's not the GI tract. The GI tract has other things called accessory organs. One of them is the pancreas, which also regulates blood sugar, which we'll talk about in chapter 4. The pancreas makes a ton of enzymes, which I'll explain, some base that helps neutralize what happens in the stomach. So it's very important to digestion. The liver actually doesn't make any enzymes for digestion, really. It makes a kind of like a soap that most of you have heard about before, perhaps, called bile. Bile helps us break down fat. Without adequate bile, we wouldn't adequately digest fat. And if that doesn't happen, fat will linger on into the large intestine and cause all sorts of lubrication issues. You don't want that to happen. So what happens is during the day, the liver makes bile in small amounts, but stores it in another organ called the gallbladder. If you ever wonder what the gallbladder is, it's just a sac that fills up with bile, and then when we eat fatty foods, it kind of constricts, squeezes in, and you dump all that bile onto your fat from your fatty foods, and you allow yourself to digest it. The liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder, they never see food, but they are essential for digestion. All right. So there they are. So much better photo. So there's our pancreas. There's the gallbladder. I think this is called the common duct. Let me move this out of the way. There we go. And there's our liver. The liver, by the way, is, in fact, the greatest organ in the body. Sadly but true, people can be brain dead and maintained on a respirator, an artificial cardiac machine to maintain blood flow. If you lose your liver, you just can't survive. It makes so much, it filters so much, it converts things. It's a very robust liver. A very robust organ. You can receive a small portion of a liver in a liver transplant from another human being, and over time that small portion will grow into like a new liver. It's just an amazing organ that doesn't get enough appreciation, and people like to treat it like crap by eating bad foods and lots of alcohol and drugs. All right, this whole process, starting, this chapter going into the rest of the semester, involves enzymes. Enzymes are dietary proteins. They're proteins. So not a carbohydrate, not a fat, not a vitamin, not a mineral, a protein. And enzymes are basically builders and cutters. And it's an enzyme in science because it ends in an ase. Sugars end in an ose, sucrose, lactose, fructose, glucose. Enzymes end in an ase. So for sucrose, there's sucrose, that's table sugar. We'll learn about that in chapter 4. There's an enzyme, sucrase. To take food and make it ultimately into tiny microscopic atomic level nutrients It's not just mashing it up and the stomach's really aggressive and we chew food and we have sharp teeth. We need enzymes. They're doing all the Lego disassembling. Okay? Throwing a Lego set against the wall, that's chewing food. Actually disassembling all the Legos into individual babies that you can put back into your Lego box, those are enzymes. Everything on Earth is using enzymes to build or break at the same time. All right, I'm going to end there.